I'm not gonna have enough time because I'm gonna start school and it's gonna be so sad. Just kidding, it's gonna be great. Good morning again. It is still the same day. Do not be fooled because I didn't even bother to change my sweatshirt today because I'm like, I'm already here. Let's talk about springtime because it's now March 1st and I'm over winter, completely over winter, and I want it to be done. I want it to be done. So I want to bring in some like warmer vibes. And one of the first ways I want to do that is with, books. And yeah, I want to talk about the books that I want to read in the springtime, hopefully. And there's a couple that are currently on Libby that I have on hold. So I'm like adding them to my TBR because I want to read them or listen to them this month. And yeah, I'm going to get started. It's me not even welcoming you to my channel. Hello, welcome to my channel. I'm assuming you love to read, which is why you're watching a spring TBR video. So I also love to read. I like to yap about books that I read. I like to yap about books that I haven't read. And yeah, we're going to talk about the books that I would like to read in springtime. I had to look back at my 25 books in my physical TBR that I want to read in 2025. And I was like, do I really want to read these books? I have already read some of them, but some I haven't. And some I was like, but others I was like, okay, I'm going to add them onto this list because I'm going to try to get them to read them in the springtime. And spring, I'm counting as March and April-ish. Do with that information what you will, but I'm counting it as March and April. And I will still do March reading recap and April reading recap. But yeah, I have never really set a TBR because I am a mood reader. I am like the definition of mood reader. I will start a book and be like, I'm not in the mood for this. And I will switch to a different book, not DNF it, because like there's a lot of books that I've started and I've been like, but I haven't DNF'd and then gone back to it like a month or two later and I love them. So it's not that. It's just like, what do I feel like reading? You guys know the definition of mood reader. I don't know why I'm explaining. I'm going to get started. I'm going to start with the ones that I have on Libby because yeah, they're on Libby. But I would like to, I love how this is at the top, but I'm not going to start with it. I would like to read, this is a big task. I would like to read A Little Light this spring. Now, my friend in my book club just finished this book and she was sobbing. And I was like, okay, I don't know if I want that. However, I requested the audiobook. I was on hold for months and I got it 2 weeks ago. And now I have like a week left to listen to the audiobook. It's 33 hours, by the way. This book is 33 hours on Libby because yes, it is a massive book. It's like 800 pages. And I will not be upset if I don't actually read this book in the springtime, aka like in the next week, because I don't really want to read it. I want to listen to it. It took her 2 months to read it. So I'm like, I don't exactly want to do that. I don't want to do that. And I also don't want to cry. So if I listen to it, maybe I can kind of like, I don't know. But yeah, this is number 1 and it might be 0. It might be number 0 because if I start listening to this book and I start crying, I'm going to stop. Listen, I don't have the energy. I want like light and fluffy, but I also want to do this before summertime because I feel like I want to get this out of the way. Anyway, the next book I want to read or listen to because I have it on audio is I Kissed Shara Wheeler by Casey McQuiston. I started this book like 2 months ago in January at some point, and it's a YA book and I love Casey McQuiston and their writing. So I want to finish this book. It's also on Kindle Unlimited, but I was like, I'd rather just listen to it. Anyway, that's the book that I want to read next. And it's romance / a little bit of mystery. And we'll see. We'll see if I like it. I'm sweating. I wonder if you can hear me. So I'm just going to continue. Just kidding. No, I'm going to. Next up, I would love to read Out on a Limb by Hannah. Wow. Out on a Limb by Hannah Bonham Young. I also have this book on loan from Libby that I would love to get to in the next month. And I also want to listen to Off to the Races by Elsie Silver. That is, I forget which series it's on, but I'm trying to give Elsie Silver another chance because in 2024, I started one of her books, got to like 70%, and I couldn't get into it. I couldn't get into the cowboy romance. So I DNF'd it, but I also would love to read Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez. I actually have that on Kindle and I want to read that. I want to finish the Good Girl's Guide to Murder series. So As Good as Dead is the last one and I hope I can finish that. I have it on Kindle as well. I want to read The Devil You Know by Frida McFadden. I started that at my allergy appointment last week and I need to finish it. So a couple of books like I started and I want to just finish them. I would like to read An Ember in the Ashes by Sabaa Tahir. I know this is a series. I only have book 1, but I want to read this because I feel like I'm going to get the rest of the series. I want to read The First to Die at the End. I don't know if I'm gonna like this. I loved that they both died at the end. I was salty and I didn't want to talk about it, and I still don't want to talk about it, but I still loved it. So I want to read The First to Die at the End as well. I'm fairly certain the creator wants to die at the end. And then I think he also has No One Knows Who Dies at the End, because that says look for the next book, No One Knows Who Dies at the End. I am gonna read them all. Anyway, if we ever meet again, this is book 1 of the If Love series, and this is a sports romance, and I want to read this by Anna Huang. I would also like to read the Kings of Sin series by Anna Huang, but I'm gonna start with this one. And I'm only putting book 1 because I want to at least start with book 1. Okay. I want to read a novel love story because I found this at the thrift store last month and I was super excited. Last month, January or February, I don't know, but I feel like it's gonna give me like light springy vibes and I want that. This for sure is summer, but I want to read this. I want to read Meet Me at the Lake by Carly Fortune, and I want to read it because One Golden Summer, her next book, comes out, and I want to read that when it comes out. But Meet Me at the Lake, I thought I'd read all my Carly Fortune books, but I was looking through my spreadsheet and I was like, no, I actually haven't read this. Anyway, I want to read this at some point this spring. Last 2 are series. The first one is I want to reread The Simple Wild because I would like to finish the rest of the series. I read The Simple Wild in 2024 with Emily. We loved it, and I was like, I need to read the rest of the series, and then I just never did. So now I want to, and I want to read all of them because I feel like I'm gonna love all of them. So yeah. And then last but not least, hang on, I read the series already, and I really want to reread it. I'm fairly certain that I read all 6 of the main books, but none of the novellas. I may or may not read the novellas. Sometimes I'm like, meh to novellas, but we'll see. But I am loving that everyone is loving Shatter Me Again. My only issue is, besides Aaron Warner, I don't remember a thing about this series. I do not remember anything about Shatter Me. I mean, I know her touch is lethal. I did put a bookmark because I was going to start reading it in February, and I was like, you know what? No, I should read this in the spring. But the reestablishment has plans for Juliet because her touch is fatal and they want to use her as a weapon. She has plans of her own. She wants her freedom, blah, blah, blah. I have a feeling, you can't see them all. It doesn't matter. I have a feeling I will either love this again, because I remember loving this and the Selection series. No one could tell me anything negative about those series when I was younger. No one. And I am now an almost 30-year-old. I am literally 29 years old. And I love the fact that this is popular again, and I want to reread it. I also want to annotate it because I feel like that's something that I want to do. So yeah, I was gonna read Throne of Glass. I had every intention of reading Throne of Glass before summer came, but I'm like, that is something to tackle, and I'm not ready for that quite yet. I'm not ready for Throne of Glass quite yet, because I also I just read Crescent City. I really enjoyed Crescent City, and I know everyone says Throne of Glass is Sarah J. Maas's best series, but all books in Crescent City were 5 out of 5s to me, so I'm not ready for that. I'm like, I need to give it more time, you know? Anyway, these I remember were also all 5 out of 5s for me, so I'm ready. I'm ready to delve into this world. I think I'm either going to do a Shatter Me reading vlog, but it might just be like a really long, over a really long course of time, because I want to read like one book and a fluffy romance type of vibe. And yeah, I am gonna put these down. Those are the books that I would like to listen to and read in the next couple months. March, April, maybe start of May, springtime. Those are the books that I want to read in the springtime. I'm super excited because most of them are romances. Most of them are hopefully more fluffy. And then of course Shatter Me, which is not going to be super fluffy. But yeah, I'm really excited. I'm like crushing my yearly goal, which was 25/30 books, and I'm crushing it. And I want to continue doing that. The other reason why I have so many books to try and read this spring is because in the summer, I'm going to try to read Throne of Glass. And then in the fall, I'm not going to have enough time because I'm going to start school. I'm not going to have enough time because I'm going to start school, and it's going to be so sad. Just kidding. It's going to be great. But yeah, that's why I'm trying to read more books earlier in the year than waiting. And then anyway, thank you so much for watching. I'm curious to know what books you want to read this March or this spring in general. And I could come back in March and I have not read any of these because I'm a mood reader, like we just talked about. Anyway, no spoilers. If you've read any books, no spoilers, because please don't spoil it. But yeah, thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one, which I'm not sure what it is yet, but I will see you in the next video. Otherwise, check out my books I read in February recap, and they were amazing. Anyway, I'm done yapping. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next one. Bye.